Now, the official website of the Ministry of Defense seems to have been hacked right now, apparently by Chinese hackers. And for more on this, let's go across to my senior colleague, Vishnu Som. Vishnu, what is the update right now?
Well, it's a huge embarrassment, Anjali, isn't it? Apparently there is a Mandarin symbol which was on the defaced website of the Defense Ministry, which is thought to mean not early, whatever that is to imply. The website is offline at the moment, and our sources in the Defense Ministry have told us we are seized of the matter and are contacting the National Informatics Center to investigate. Now, interestingly, this comes on a day when the Indian Air Force has just announced, and by just I mean in the last hour or so, the largest ever air war games that is possibly ever held, which would look at the simultaneous threat of China and Pakistan. Exercises which would involve essentially all major assets, all major fighter aircraft, transports and helicopters of the Indian Air Force by day and by night across the country, in every part of the country. And then this website comes. It also comes on a day, interestingly, when India has just kicked off the first step of the process to acquire more than 100 fighter aircraft. And that again is something, the details of which were actually shared on another part of the Defense Ministry website a little while back. So I'm not sure what the Mandarin symbol or the message over here by these hackers is, but it's actually, it is quite embarrassing. The message apparently means not early. So what was an important day for the Defense Ministry and the government in kicking off these war games, in announcing the start of the process for an acquisition of more than 100 fighter aircraft in a deal which should be worth more than 100,000 crore rupees, sees the day end with the website of the Defense Ministry being defaced. So at this stage, the Defense Ministry doesn't know what happened. Obviously, there are agencies in the government which have the task of looking into cyber attacks, and these are part of the National Informatics Center, and they would be looking into it at this stage.
All right, Vishnu, how secure are these websites usually? When we look at these, especially the government sites, they don't look very high-tech. Their presentation is pretty primitive and, as we would say, looks like old tech. So how secure are these websites?
Anjali, I wouldn't be able to tell you about the specific security of these websites other than to mention that there are specific agencies in the government which run, I believe, under the Home Ministry, which actually look into the issue of cyber security and cyber hacking very, very closely. There are response teams which actually exist, which are part of the government, which are manned constantly by experts who try and find out about online threats. But this is an embarrassment because, it is the Defense Ministry, assuming that, we are correct in reporting that this is a Chinese threat or a Chinese, hacker who's gone and done this. It's quite clearly an embarrassment. Now, the website will be back up sooner than later. It's obviously a silly stunt played by someone trying to send a message. But I think it is quite a coincidence. It would be interesting to know whether it is just merely a coincidence that this defacing of the website took place on a day when, as I mentioned, two major defense developments have taken place.
All right, thanks for all that update. And as my colleague Vishnu Som was telling us, that it was an important day for the Ministry of Defense, and as the day ends, this happens, their website is hacked.